Hello everybody, I am back with yet another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my original Xbox collection in its entirety. Unfortunately, when I got my Xbox 360, I did sell my original Xbox along with all the games I had for it because I didn't have a job at the time and I just didn't really have any money. So, I did have to sell my original Xbox with all of those games. But in the past few years, as you can see here, I have been able to get quite a few of those games back. While I don't have all of those games, I am fairly satisfied with the current state of the collection. There are only, a few here or there that I still need to get and want to get. But let's go ahead and get right started here. Some of these games I have not played, about 3 of them here. I'm going to go ahead and show those first. Just because they're recent additions to the collection, I just haven't had the time to play them. That is Sega GT and Jet Set Radio Future, I'm sorry. Not played these 2 games. These are obviously Sega games, exclusives to the Xbox, but I have not had a chance to play these. I've heard great things, though. Another game here, this is cross-platform, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds. I'm a huge fan of the TV series, but I've not had a chance to play this game. I also want to get the Buffy game that is exclusive to the Xbox, because I've heard that game is superior to this one, but you guys can let me know. Also, we have here Dead or Alive 3. I've not played this yet either, but I have played Dead or Alive Dimensions on the Nintendo 3DS, and I loved that, so I'm sure this game is no exception. I'm sure that features much more characters and more stages, and it also features music from Aerosmith, apparently, according to the back here I'm reading now. So that's pretty cool. And then we have a whole bundle of Star Wars games here. First, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2, one of my personal favorite cross-platform games on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Just absolutely blew the first one out of the water with the addition of the Jedis and the different heroes and villains that you could be in this game. Absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing a third one because obviously pandemic has closed. But which is very unfortunate because I was really hoping to see Star Wars Battlefront 3. But Number 2 still holds up so well today, and if you have not played the game, you definitely owe it to yourself to pick this up. Then we have the first 2 LEGO Star Wars games. Really great games. I love the LEGO games. Really fun to play co-op with your friends. And just recently announced was the Lord of the Rings LEGO game, which I cannot wait for. I'm hoping for a summer release, 2012, but we'll see. But these are great games. I'm sure all of you guys have played at least some iteration of the LEGO games on one of your systems. The final Star Wars game we have here is Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Actually a pretty decent game. Also featured a multiplayer aspect where you could just do 3D fighting similar to like Tekken, but obviously you were the heroes and villains of the Star Wars series, which is really cool. You could be Yoda, which is really awesome, and it's a really fun game. I definitely enjoyed it. The next game we have here is one of my personal favorites, The Godfather. I loved this game. Obviously, a GTA clone, but it was still so cool to be able to play through the first Godfather movie, one of my personal favorite films of all time, and just to see, the interaction between characters, and you get to bring your own created character from the bottom, starting out as nothing to becoming the Dawn of New York City. It was really, really fun to play through the original movie, and unfortunately, the second Godfather game I've heard is not very good. And I don't believe it really ties to the movies at all. But this game is excellent, and you can now get it on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 and Wii as well. So definitely you have many options to try this game out, and you should not overlook it. Crimson Skies, a really nice aerial shooter. I had a lot of fun playing this with my friends. Unfortunately, I never played this game online, which is probably where the bulk of the gameplay lies. But for what it is, you can pick this up for a few bucks. Definitely owe it to yourself to pick this one up. SSX 3, really great addition to the SSX series. SSX Tricky was awesome, but this definitely is far superior to that version. Many more options to do, as well as you kind of have your own career that you can do, and you actually can interact with the different people, set up different tournaments and stuff through emails and stuff. It was really, really cool, and I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to the new SSX game coming out later next year. 2 first-person shooters here. I haven't played much of. My cousin actually gave these games to me, which I really do appreciate. Very similar to the Call of Duty games, though, as far as the just the engine that the game runs on. But the graphics are pretty good too, and I'm sure the stories are decent. But I haven't really sunk too much time into these games, so I'm not really sure what you're doing in these games. But they're first-person shooters, so take that with a grain of salt. I have not played this game. My cousin also donated this game to me, but I'm sure it's pretty decent. There are so many Cabela's hunting games, though. It's absurd, especially now with the motion controls on the new gen consoles. You have all these kinds of crazy games. But I'm sure it's pretty decent for what it is. I mean, you hunt animals, so, whatever. Another first-person shooter here we have is Black Hawk Down. I actually really did enjoy this game when I originally got it back in the day. A very, very enjoyable first-person shooter, and also one of the great things about the game is that you can play through the entire campaign 4-player co-op, which is awesome. And this had unbelievable number of people that you can play online. Unfortunately, I never played the Xbox online, but there were some really nice multiplayer maps, and like I said, one of the main draws to the game for me was the co-op experience for the campaign, which I thought was really cool. The next game we have here is the Mega Man Anniversary Collection. Definitely a nice way to experience all the Mega Man games if you never had a chance to play them on their original consoles. But these games are brutally challenging, so if you're not up for the challenge or the frustration, I definitely would not look on picking this one up. But if you're a fan of Mega Man, you owe it to yourself. You probably already have this, so yeah, great way to experience the Mega Man game. Tony Hawk Project 8, I have actually not played this game. My cousin donated this game to me as well. I kind of stopped playing Tony Hawk after Tony Hawk 4. I dabbled a little bit in Tony Hawk Underground, but the first 4 were where I thought the series, was just absolutely amazing. And I still, to this day, love those original 4 games. But Tony Hawk's Project 8, I'm sure it's decent, but I feel like Activision was kind of milking the series after 4. So let me know if you guys have played Project 8. One of the greatest exclusives to the Xbox, and unfortunately, Xbox only has, so many exclusives right now, and Fable's definitely one of them. Fable 1, 2, and 3 are all excellent games, and Fable 1 is no exception. I strongly recommend that you guys go back and play Fable, and if you've never delved into the series, I would actually recommend starting with 2, because 2 is my personal favorite. But like I said, you cannot go wrong with 1. It's an excellent game. Now, being the Lord of the Rings fanboy that I am, I have all of these games for the Xbox. Of course, first one we have here is The Hobbit. Actually a really decent game. Game Informer actually did a recent playthrough of this game as one of their replay episodes. And I was really surprised at the cutscenes. The CG graphics are really actually pretty impressive for the day. And they still look really nice today. But this is just like an action-adventure game. You kind of just hack and slash your way through the levels, playing as Bilbo Baggins. The world is very expansive, really. I mean, it really truly is. A lot of exploration and just kind of like killing, random little enemies. If you ever read the books, you know what to expect from the story. But of course, Peter Jackson is directing the Hobbit movie, which the first iteration is coming at the end of 2012, which I cannot wait for. But this is definitely a really fun game. Of course, playing as Bilbo Baggins, it was just a great experience for me. So if you haven't played The Hobbit, definitely. The next game we have here is Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. This game is probably greatly overlooked because it was not really developed by a well-known company, Black Label Games. To my knowledge, I don't even know any other games that they have developed. But really interesting art style in this one. Very original looking, and I really did enjoy it. If you get past the first level, which really kind of turns a lot of people off to the game, is when you're playing as Frodo and you're trying to escape the Shire. You basically have to lure the ringwraiths away from you so that you can escape the Shire and get into the forest. But if you can get past that, the game is actually really, really fun. And you get to play as Aragorn and Ganondorf. What the heck am I thinking? Gandalf. I'm sorry, guys. Later in the game. That'd be pretty sweet if you could play as Ganondorf. But anyways, Gandalf. And you guys playing through those guys, like little mini stories, are actually really unique. And, I mean, you obviously are playing through the Fellowship of the Ring, but there are a lot of side things that you didn't really see in the movie that you get to kind of experience in this game. It's a very nice third-person kind of action hack-and-slash game. So check this out. Be patient with it. If you can get past the first mission, it really is a lot of fun. The next 2 games, I hold these games in such high regard. I've played through them literally dozens of times, especially The Return of the King, because it is such an excellent game to play co-op with a friend. But these games just offer excellent campaigns. Playing, and this one, the Two Towers, is either Gimli, Legolas, or Aragorn. But then at the end of the game, I believe you unlock Gandalf as one of the playable characters in the last kind of bonus mission. I may be wrong. It's been a while since I've played through the game. But just really fun. Some of the levels are actually brutally challenging. And you actually get to play through the first few levels of the Fellowship of the Ring in this game. The first few missions are from the Fellowship of the Ring. It's just really cool. And the Return of the King just offers excellent multiplayer. And 3 different campaigns, really. You have the Hobbit campaign, playing as Sam and Frodo. And then also the King's kind of campaign, where you're playing as either Gimli, Aragorn, or Legolas. And then you also have Gandalf's campaign, where you're playing, obviously, as Gandalf. And you just basically play through their stories, because obviously in the movie they all split paths and went their separate ways. But excellent game. It's one of my personal favorite games of all time. So you guys cannot overlook the Lord of the Rings games. I know I have my Lord of the Rings fanboys out there, but these games are great. 2 other great games I like based on movies: SpiderMan and SpiderMan 2. SpiderMan was very linear. You couldn't really explore New York City at all, but it still offered some really nice, unique gameplay for the time, and I did enjoy this one. But SpiderMan 2 was what really blew me out of the water and was my favorite superhero game up until Arkham Asylum. And I'm sure Arkham City will overtake that position very soon. But Spider-Man 2 was great because you could actually roam New York City freely and do little really stupid side missions for like the people in the town. But it was just so cool to be able to, climb up these buildings and have the freedom to just jump off of them. Like, I remember jumping off the Empire State Building and just smacking the ground. But it was really a lot of fun. And, playing through the story is great as well, but it was really just the sense of exploration in this game that made it so amazing. What we have here are the Simpsons Road Rage and the Simpsons Hit and Run, 2 of my favorite guilty pleasures on the Xbox, of course on the PlayStation 2 and GameCube as well. But the Simpsons Hit and Run is a Grand Theft Auto clone, just completely making fun of the Grand Theft Auto series, and it does a very good job. There are plenty of playable missions. You get to play as the 4 family members, with the exception of Maggie. And then in Simpsons Road Rage, you get to play through not only the Simpsons family, but also several of the Simpsons characters from this TV series. And you basically just go around town driving people from place to place. And it's just hilarious, some of the things that they say, especially Ralph. He says some of the craziest things in this game, but they're both really fun, and you can pick them up for pennies on the dollar these days, so definitely try these games out. The next game we have here is Ghost Recon. It's a fun game, but these original Ghost Recon games, the first few at least, were brutally challenging, and they were almost unplayable unless you had people playing with you, like your friends. But I did enjoy them, and they were a lot of fun. The levels were humongous in these games, and just really rewarded you for definitely being careful and stealthy, because if you weren't, then you would die very quickly. The next game we have here is Namco Museum. I remember my dad brought this home for me one day on the for the PlayStation 2, and I fell in love with it because, of course, I never really got to experience some of these original classics in the arcades, unfortunately. So having all of them available on one disc was just absolutely incredible. And, my favorite, I don't know if I can choose between the two, but Dig Dug and Galaga are my 2 favorite arcade games of all time. I just love the simplicity of them, and Galaga, just the beginning music is it just brings chills to me every time I play it, and which sounds so weird as some 18-year-old kid talking about a game like that, but it really does, and I really do enjoy these games. The music is just amazing. And they're just really addicting. You could definitely see why people were continuing to shove nickels and quarters into the machines back in the day, because you wanted to keep playing. They're really great. And this is a great way to experience all of those gems on one disc. The next game we have here is a title by Rockstar, Max Payne, very similar to Grand Theft Auto, as you can imagine. Also borrows a lot of similar elements to Enter the Matrix, if you ever played that game, because you can actually kind of slow down time in this. Not really dodge bullets, but you can kind of just like dive in certain directions and stuff like that and slow down time. But it was a lot of fun. I made it about halfway through the game. Really, really kind of gripping story for sure. You kind of actually care what's going on. You care about what's happened to him and his family, and it really is kind of unique. I haven't played the second one, and I haven't finished this yet, But from what I've seen, I am very excited to see what the third one has in store for us. But definitely don't overlook Max Payne. It is definitely a very, very fun game. The next game I have also not yet had a chance to play, and that is Silent Hill 2. I remember playing the demo. Oh my freaking goodness. I was so young at the time. My friend and I don't know if you guys remember those Jam Pack volume series or whatever. They had those like discs on the PlayStation 2. And I remember this was one of the games that was on there as a demo. And we just about peed our pants when we played this game. Just incredibly scary. Just very, very eerie atmospheres. Really scary looking enemies. And the music definitely was not helping our cause either. So I'm excited to play the game actually. You know, as much as it sounds like I don't want to. I love horror games. I love horror movies. And I think this game will definitely probably scare the living crap out of me. Which is a good thing. And of course you can't have an original Xbox collection without these two games, Halo 1 and Halo 2. I have not gotten the Combat Evolved Anniversary Collection, HD version I should say, but I do want to because Halo 1 is actually my favorite in the series, especially the multiplayer maps. I just love the multiplayer maps in that game, and Halo 2 I really enjoyed as well, especially with the introduction of the sword. I just love slicing through my friends with the sword, and it was so incredibly overpowered. Thankfully, they kind of made that a little bit better in Halo 3, but these are really great games. I don't really need to speak about the series because obviously everyone knows what Halo is, and to be quite honest, I feel like they're kind of milking the franchise now, and now that Bungie isn't even in developing them anymore, it kind of sucks. But, you know, what can you do? A game that makes money, it's what people want, so that's all that matters for people these days, but they're really great games, and I enjoy them. Alright guys, so that is my Xbox game. Alright guys, so that is my Xbox collection in its entirety. I know I rambled on about a few of the games, but you know, I can't help myself. The Xbox has a great library of games. Of course, there are several that I still need to get. Why don't you guys drop me a comment below on some of your personal favorite games for the Xbox. Some games that I still really want to get are Conquer, Live and Reloaded, Dark Watch. I know that's not an exclusive, but I really want to play that game. Panzer Dragoon Orta. I want to play that game so badly it's not even funny. And then there are several other games too that just aren't coming to mind at the moment. But those are just some of the games that I have that I want to get eventually. But I hope you guys enjoyed, but please leave me a comment below letting me know some of your guys' personal favorite original Xbox games. Thanks for watching, guys.